What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Saturday, September 13th, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 12:36 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we currently have what appears to be another Russian drone incursion into Polish airspace. What you're looking at here is some video footage coming out of Poland showing air raid sirens going off in southeastern Poland, close to the border of Ukraine. Now, Poland has just closed their airport in the city of Lublin, which is in southeastern Poland. So that airport is closed, and that is a pretty big Polish city. They've also shut down the airspace along the border with Ukraine. We're hearing that Polish fighter jets have been scrambled and French fighter jets have been scrambled. So something is going on just in the last hour. Also, we're hearing that Romania has issued a shelter-in-place order for their citizens close to the border of Ukraine due to the threat of Russian drones. So let me just play this video for you so you can hear those air raid sirens sounding in a NATO country. So guys, I hope I'm wrong, but what we could be looking at here are the beginning stages of a war between Russia and NATO, okay? And NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte announced that in response to the recent drone intrusion of several dozen Russian drones into Poland, NATO would be launching Operation Eastern Sentry across NATO's eastern front. The goal of the operation will be to strengthen the alliance's defensive posture in Poland and the Baltics, with several members already announcing the deployment of military assets in support of Eastern Sentry, including Denmark, who announced it would send 2 F-16s and an anti-air frigate, France, who will be sending 3 Rafale fighter jets, and Germany, who will contribute 4 Eurofighter Typhoons, with additional assets expected to be announced in the coming days and weeks by other allies in NATO. We're hearing that 2 Patriot missile systems will be moved into Poland. I believe it was Germany that was going to do that, or the Netherlands. Also, Sweden is going to be assisting, and Poland is going to start working with Ukraine on defending both Ukrainian and Polish airspace from drones. I'm hearing from Polish news sources that Poland is considering shooting down these drones in western Ukraine before they reach Polish airspace. And the Polish military will arrive in Kyiv on September 18th to coordinate with Ukraine on countering Russian drone attacks and strengthening joint air defense. There are proposals for Poland to start shooting down drones and missiles in western Ukraine, and Trump has conceded to confidants that he misjudged Putin's desire for peace, but he rejected the notion that he's being manipulated by Netanyahu. This was reported by Axios, who had sources close to Trump. And Bloomberg is reporting that NATO is preparing a military and political response to the drone incursion in Poland by Russia. Coordination will be carried out by NATO's Supreme Allied Commander of Europe, Alex Grynkevich. Now, guys, Alex Grynkevich was appointed to this post by the Trump administration, by Trump himself, okay? So it's going to be coordinated by an American general. This is huge news. And here we have some video footage of the French Rafale fighter jets being scrambled just in the last hour to respond to these Russian drones that could be heading towards Polish airspace. And I want to remind you guys that we are scrambling multi-million-dollar assets and firing multi-million-dollar missiles to shoot down drones that are worth just a few $1,000s a piece. So NATO better have a strategy for shooting down these drones that doesn't involve using our most expensive assets and depleting our stocks of air-to-air missiles and long-range or medium-range air-to-air missiles, okay? And joint Russian and Belarus military exercises have begun on the border of Poland and the Baltics. And there was a massive Ukrainian drone attack yesterday. Ukraine destroyed another Lukoil facility in Smolensk in western Russia. Russia said that they intercepted 221 drones. And what's very interesting is that Ukraine specifically targeted one of the ports on the Baltic Sea that Russia has, and it's their most important port for oil. They attacked the Primorsk port, so they were trying to go after this oil port up in St. Petersburg, and they also sent some drones to Moscow. So, guys, the situation between Ukraine and Russia and NATO, it's just continuing to escalate, okay? And Trump said that the Russian drone incursion into Poland could have been a mistake, but he said that he was not happy with the situation regardless. I can't see how it's a mistake. And this was last night. We had a Polish reconnaissance plane patrolling the border of Poland and Russia and Poland and Belarus. And here we have some video footage coming out of Poland showing a massive convoy of tanks being moved to the border of Belarus. And this is just one of many videos and pictures. And we have confirmation that Poland has now moved 40,000 troops to the border of Belarus. They have activated their National Guard, and they have told all of their National Guardsmen to report to duty stations within 6 to 12 hours, and that was right after the drone attack. Okay, so this is very, very serious, guys. We are watching the beginning stages of the war between Russia and NATO, which we all knew was eventually going to happen. It looks like it's going to unfold during the Trump administration. And Qatar said that it reserves the right to respond to the Israeli strike on Doha and will be holding an emergency Islamic summit on September 14th and 15th. So that would be tomorrow and Monday. Qatar is going to be speaking with some of their regional allies, and they said they reserve the right to respond. Wow. And we have an update from Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro ordered militiamen in Venezuela to report to their barracks for training amid the rising tensions with the U.S. And according to Politico, there are reports of growing frustration from Trump and his advisors towards Netanyahu following the attack in Qatar. One of the sources said every time it seems like there's progress, they bomb someone. Wow. And we have some unconfirmed reports of missile launcher movements inside of Iran 2 days ago near Isfahan, Khuzestan, Elam, and Semnan provinces. Very concerning. And Russia is now demanding that Poland reopen their border crossings with Belarus. And the death toll in Nepal due to rioting has risen to 51. Okay, entire buildings are being burned down. And the wife of the former prime minister of Nepal has apparently died in these riots. And what you're looking at here is the flight path of a U.S. Air Force aerial refueler that flew down to Venezuela. It was right off the coast of Venezuela, which is very, very interesting. Also, last night, we had a C-130, that's a military cargo plane, fly to the island of Caracas, which is right off the coast of Venezuela and Guyana. So there's a lot of activity going on off the coast of Venezuela. Now, what's interesting about this refueler is that it was flying parallel to the Venezuelan coast. And what I think happened here is either they were refueling some assets that were flying with their trackers off, or this was actually a recon plane that was disguised as a refueler, okay? Because based on the flight path here, it almost looks like it was doing a reconnaissance patrol of Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. So this is a front that could pop off very soon. And we have some video footage of the new B-21 stealth bomber. This is the second test of the B-21. This was in California on September 11th, 2 days ago. So looks like the B-21 is almost ready for full-scale deployment, and I think they're going to be building 100 of these, which is just absolutely massive. We currently officially only have 20 stealth bombers, but they're going to build up to 100 of these, and they're going to be fully unmanned and piloted by AI. Now, they can also be human piloted as well, okay? But this is very, very serious weaponry, and it's going to be potentially piloted by AI. That's pretty concerning. And NASA has begun barring Chinese nationals with visas from joining its programs, underscoring the intensifying space race between rival powers. Now, what's interesting is NASA has put out a request for proposals from various energy companies here in the U.S. to build a reactor, a nuclear reactor, on the moon, which is interesting. And my guess is that's to power a base over there. They want to make a space station on the moon. And this is something that they started discussing back in the Bush administration. There's actually a crater on the moon called the Shackleton crater. And in that crater, the temperature remains a stable, like -10 Fahrenheit throughout the entire year. And the problem with the moon is that it has extreme temperature swings. So the sun-facing side of the moon can be 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is boiling point here on Earth. And it can be as cold as -200 when it's on the far side of the sun. So the far side of the sun can be extremely cold. The near side can be boiling hot. But in this crater, because the crater's like tucked away, it's deep and it's in the shade basically, it maintains a stable temperature, and that's where the Bush administration identified a location to put a lunar base, okay? But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with more breaking news and possibly live coverage. Follow me on Twitter. That's at NYPrepper1 on Twitter. I'm trying to build up my Twitter as a backup to YouTube. And also check out my Patreon. That's patreon.com/NYPrepper. You can view all of these videos with no advertisements. And also, I post summaries of the news in text format, usually once a day or every 2 days. So this way, if you don't have time to watch all my videos or you miss some videos, you can quickly see what's going on. And it's a good way to support this channel to keep it running full time. But that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Stay safe out there. Be aware of your surroundings. And until the next time, take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NY Prepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP Shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP Shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video.